Ooh, he got something. Got him. Alrighty guys, I am out here, and basically what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be telling you guys a story, and this story is actually a true story, mind you. It's a story of how I got started fishing, and I figured what better place to tell this story than to be at the pond where it all happened. This is where it all started. Alrighty guys, we made it here. It wasn't really that long of a journey, but I mean this story is pretty special for two reasons. One, when I first got into filming myself fishing, this is where I caught my first film bass. It was a small, like 10-incher, 8-incher, very skinny fish. So yeah, caught him right off here, and we're gonna try and see if we can either one, catch one, or just tell a good story. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. So this story starts a very long time ago, just before I entered high school, actually. And as you can see it, there's my old high school over there. So yeah, this story starts when, let's say, I want to say around Christmas. And the reason why is because the fishing rod that was used was my little brother's, Chris, and you guys will get to meet him. He likes to act as my cameraman, and he's actually learning on how to do that. So we're getting him started on there. So the rod used was my brother Chris, his rod that he got for Christmas, and it was a bit more than those Paw Patrol princess rods that you see, little toy rods. It was a bit more than that. It was like just a beginner spin cast fishing rod, and we never used it up until like the end of the summer, probably around this time or something like that, a few weeks before, like towards like the end of August, beginning of August. Towards the end of August, towards the middle to the end of August. And that's when we just started, like one day we just looked at each other and said, hey, let's all go fishing. Now I grew up with 3 brothers and 1 sister, and so basically we all just went along. It was just like a little tribe. The reason why I say tribe is because we're all Indians. So yeah, we did that, came out here. And we didn't come to this spot. We actually went around to that spot over there. And so yeah, we ended up just because it was like we'll go over there in a second. But yeah, it was a place we didn't even think we'd catch anything. And a lot of times growing up, we would just explore around here. Like none of this was around here. This was all like open fields. There were maybe some trails around, but there weren't many. There weren't a lot of things around here that you see now. Like this bridge wasn't here. We had to literally hop over the little tiny river there. And yeah, somebody had like put a door down as a bridge before, so we used that. So we end up just coming here, and we either try to fish or go exploring. Eventually we went off exploring. We would catch little crawdads in this little river that goes underneath an underpass, overpass, whichever you want to call it. I guess it'd be an overpass. So we'd go and do that. So we'd either come out and fish, or we would just go exploring and try to catch some crawdads. We'd catch crawdads and toads out here. It'd be really fun. It's like a fun time to kill the summer, you know, stay out of trouble, do all that stuff. Pretty much the stuff that my mom, your mom, would want to be done. Forward a few weeks, it was towards the end of summer. I mean, school's just about to start, and I'm just thinking, guys, we haven't caught a fish yet. Like, we should probably go out and do that. So one day we just like packed, not even a cooler, we just stuffed like our backpack and stuff like that of like water, sodas, little snacks or whatever, and we came out here. So we were out here, got like the cooler packed, got the backpacks packed full of drinks, and we were just out here for a good 3 hours, you know, from like 3 to 6 o'clock or so, like that. And within the last 30 minutes of us being here, because what we did is we would just take turns. You cast 2, pass it to the next one. You cast 2, pass it to the next one. If he wants to do it, you cast 2. And we were I would say it's semi-determined to do it. But again, we knew nothing about fishing. Nothing. We just tied whatever came on the box on. And then we started tying like hot dogs and stuff like that we packed or whatever. Needless to say, the hot dogs didn't work. I don't know if there's catfish in this pond, but I just know that it didn't work out. So, within the last 30 minutes of us being here, my little brother Chris, oh yeah, look at, they're launching rockets out there. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got a little parachute, it's coming down. The parachute is not opening up. You're gonna lose a man. Anyways, back to the story. Yeah, Chris, he goes out and he just casts it, and he kind of just like lets it sit there, and then he kind of just like is not paying attention, and he starts like wiggling around, and then eventually he ends up catching a fish. And we didn't know what kind of fish it was. Now when I think about it, it's like, oh, it definitely was a crappie or a bass, and that's basically what I've seen in here is crappie and bass and bluegill. And I'm guessing it probably was a bass, a very small bass. A lot of that is in here. Got a 2.5 pounder the other day, last week or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was last week because it wasn't I wasn't here the other day. But yeah, so fast forward a couple years, and my brother, who's about to leave for a year before he's about to leave for the military, he goes into the Air Force. He and I decided to go fish. Now my other brother Seth doesn't fish at all. He doesn't like it. He just hates it. He is impressed by like some of the things I catch, but to him it's just like being out here for this long, you know, he's like, what, how do you not go insane? I don't know if that's his reasoning, but that's my take on it. Because a lot of people are like, how do you just do the same thing, like cast the same bait for X amount of times and realize it's not working after the first 3? It's like, well, because it's strategy behind it. Anyways, so me and Shane go out and fish, and we're having terrible luck. And Elm was just like, I don't feel like fishing anymore. And so like the fishing kind of dwindles because, one, we don't know what we're doing. We're just like picking stuff up, you know, picking spinners, picking hard plastic lures. We're doing all the stuff wrong. I mean, basically stuff like I wouldn't tell myself to do right now. I would basically like tell myself, research where you're at, the whole living area where you're at, and what fish are dominant in that area. And then also, don't be afraid to ask other people what they're using there, because what they're using might be working for them as well as it could work for you. But also you need to go out and venture what works best for the fish. It's not about what you want. It's not about what you like. It's about what the fish are going to want to take from you. It's about what it's about what they want. And yeah. Ooh, did I get bunched? I feel like I got bunched. Maybe, or I threw it like an idiot. I think the latter. I think me throwing it like an idiot is probably the correct answer. So my brother decides to go fishing with some of his coworkers, to which is like fine. I go out and fish and everything. And he doesn't really have that much luck with fish. I mean, the only fish him and I have caught were literally like a couple fish that were probably that big. Like, compared to the things I catch now, it's just like, that's complete amateur hour. But I mean, when you're comparing yourself, your former self, to how you were at how you are now, you're gonna definitely be an amateur in a lot of things. But yeah, the fish we were catching weren't that big, but the fish him and his coworkers at least his coworkers were catching, were huge. And they were using like all this other stuff that we just didn't know how to use. Sure enough, you know, like summer ends, life moves on. A few years later, I get back into fishing, and it's just something that I've always like been kind of drawn to. I mean, it's not like we're gonna switch it up actually. Ooh, you got something. Got him. He's a small guy. Oh, he's starting to feel bigger now. He's starting to feel big. Where are you? Oh, there you are. He's not that bad. Woohoo! There we go. All right. Hey, easy guy. Hey, easy. It's a little... I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, hey, hey. Calm down, calm down. We'll get you back in the water. I'll get you back in the water. We just want to get a good look at you. Look at that. Pretty guy. He's got some blood on him. He'll be all right, though. Alrighty. Cool. Cool. That's a good one. I honestly didn't expect to catch anything. When I caught a fish here last week, or yeah, the week or two ago, it was a bit bigger than that one. But I mean, that's usually what we were catching, the types of fish we were catching, and that's the majority of the types of fish that are in here are that. But yeah, so don't research any lures or anything. We just kind of go out here and do it, and then again, the fishing hobby of things died down. I started getting back into it again after, like, hey, kind of bored, summer's dwindling down, I'm not doing anything, just working and doing nothing, and I also don't feel like drinking. So yeah, I come out and I do I go and I buy another fishing rod, because like mine got destroyed or got lost or something like that, the one that I had before, and it was also like some like Shimano, not even Shimano, I don't think they even make it anymore. Oh man, that fish got me. But it was just some brand that I just like looked at it, I was like, ah, that'll be fine. But I go and I start watching, you know, people on YouTube, and then I start seeing people using bait casters, and so I'm like, huh, like that's interesting. So I get myself a bait caster, right? Well, this is the actual bait caster that I use. This isn't the rod that I use. The reason why is because the rod broke, the tip end broke, as well as the bottom part of it, the back end of it, the part where you hold the rod broke. I forget what it's called. That also broke. So yeah, I kind of just am like, whatever, don't know how to use it. So I tie on braid, which, by the way, was probably one of the smartest things I could have ever done when dealing with things. Some advice for you guys that are getting into bait casters that want to use a bait caster for fishing. First off, research what you do. Don't just see people do it and think, hey, I could use one of those. I've used the spin cast before and a spinning reel. How difficult can it be? It is very difficult. Very difficult if you don't know anything. Like if you don't know anything about it, definitely difficult to use. So anyways, I go and buy a bait caster here. I'm actually here at this spot. This is the spot where I started to try and fish. Don't know what makes me come out to this spot. Maybe because it comes out as a point and you see this little cove area. But I mean, that fish was caught like over there, so it's not like it was a big deal. It's just, I don't know, I just like it because it's also the view of the mountains. You're looking straight that way. I don't typically like that part. That's where a lot of traffic comes through with people walking. But yeah, so I go out here and I fish, and oh my goodness, y'all, I've probably almost given up on fishing maybe 50 times while using this bait caster, and it's actually surprising that this bait caster still works well. But yeah, it wasn't pretty. The reason why is because it generally just kept backlashing. I was an idiot. When I first did it, I was just like, what, cast far. Wait, what? The spool is still going. Hey, that's not good. Oh, that's a knot. That sucks. So, and this is all braid. So it completely is just like, for those of you guys that don't know, braid is just like string, like rope. And it is not easy to get out if you bird net. Once you bird nest it, depending on how bad your bird nest is, you're either going to throw away the rest of your line, or you're going to spend hours with tweezers trying to fish out everything, or just scissors and cut it all off and salvage what you can. But yeah, so that happened, and that probably, man, like I said, I probably would have quit fishing. I probably quit fishing 50 times that day. Don't know why I threw up a 5. I just mentioned a 5-0. But yeah, I likely just it was a very aggravating time for me. So I went home that day and just decided maybe I'll give up on fishing, or maybe I'll take a break or something like that. And then again, like not even a week later, I come back out here determined to get this thing done. Like, hey, I wanted to learn how to do this. I wanted to learn how to fish with this. I bought it, might as well do it before I can say enough's enough. And that typically is a lot of things that I've done, is like, hey, I took the time to go out and do something like this. I didn't research it. Now I'm researching it. I researched why I kept backlashing and why this thing's wrong. I ended up re-spooling my reel, putting it back on the rod, and then coming out here with a bag of Senkos, some hooks, a jig or two, and then yeah, just fishing, just doing what I came here to do. And sure enough, I came here to fish. Glad enough that I did. So yeah, I started just again fishing, until I got to the hang of bait casting. And a lot of times it was just like, oh, maybe I'm not doing this right, or oh, maybe I should just give up. It was, I mean, it was a great debacle between the two, and it was just like debate after debate as to, should I keep doing this? Should I use my spinning reel? And there was times where I would just set the bait caster down and only fish with the spinning reel. I would bring it out and just wouldn't do it, until finally, I think I'm gonna say around like the 4th to 6th time I came out here and started just like only brought the bait caster and just fished with it. Then I just ended up catching a fish, and I'm like, hey, I could really do this. But also, like I said, I mean, that fish that I caught earlier was probably, you know, not the biggest one. But the fish I caught with this, when I first caught a fish using the bait caster, it was a bit smaller than that. I started coming out here with the GoPro and just kind of just like, you know, doing what I saw everyone else doing, just filming and fishing. And basically it's just more than that. It's more than just getting views. It's more than just getting subscribers. It's coming out here and sharing these experiences with you. I mean, I could go to everyone I know and show them, hey, look at the fish I caught. Hey, look at the fish I caught. And a lot of times they're impressed. So why not be able to take that and share it with a bunch of people out there? And even this story, for one, the story definitely is one where you guys are able to, you know, get to know me on that level a little better, and how I just never gave up fishing. Always came back to it, wanted to give up a lot of times. Like there's even times where like I just was like, it's too hot, I can't catch anything, I'm having an off day, and just like a lot of boohoo moments. But sometimes you always find yourself coming back. At least I do. I mean, I know there's not every day is going to be a 10-pounder day. Not every day is going to be a 3-pounder day. But you are going to come out here and you're going to catch something, right? If not, you're like the old saying goes, guys. A bad day at fishing is better than a good day at work. And generally, I'd rather be fishing and not catch anything than be at work. But don't tell my boss. So yeah. It goes to show, I mean, just like sometimes you just got to put effort into things. Oh, was that a fish? I don't know. I don't know. It might not have been. I might have just gotten too excited when I heard the water splash. So that was a fun little story. And like the story basically gives an insight of, like, you know, how I got into fishing. It wasn't something that, you know, I did growing up, although I did do it like once with my dad. Took me and my older brother out fishing, and the only thing that we caught was a freaking I don't know, green sunfish or something like that. But yeah, that story basically just tells you, like, that's how I got here. Like, this is that point. That was point A. Now we're at point B, and now it's gotten to the point where I am fishing and I'm sharing it with you guys. And you guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Thank you so much for subscribing or liking this video. It does mean a lot to me that you guys do take the time to come and, you know, either watch a story, listen to, watch a story, either watch a video or listen to the story. And honestly, I mean, I'm not doing this for like any fame or anything like that. I simply did this just because, like, a lot of people do have that question on their mind when they do interact with me, is how did I get into fishing? Well, basically it wasn't easy. I gave up, like I said, I don't know how many times. It was a lot. It was done a lot. But again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And yeah, thank you for stopping by.